Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Oh, you're taking a drink. I'm sorry. I'll wait.
Oh, sorry.
You're just like,
I thought I'd
oh.
sneak in a drink while you were talking. Yeah.
No, yeah. I usually show both of us when I'm like doing the
Okay.
quick intro.
Right
So I
on.
just
Yeah.
like, oh, you're taking a drink. Whoops. Okay.
Okay. Take two. Quick.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Heather Fritz. I am a teacher, healer, and meditation. Blah, 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 blah. Wow, wow. All right, let's try that again. I'm so sorry.
Okay. It's okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Adventure Within podcast. My name is Heather Fritz. I am a clairvoyant, healer, and meditation teacher. Today, I will be joined by PJ Glassey. PJ started personal training in 1987 and grew his business successfully for the following 11 years, training clients out of their homes and local area gyms. With these clients help as test subjects and armed with his degree in exercise science, PJ invented his multi-protocol concept and refined it through 1998 when he found the X Gym. He is also the author of the book Cracking Your Calorie Code and the inventor of his brain type test, which helps people achieve health and fitness results much faster through specific brain wiring techniques tailored to their unique brain type. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Heather Fritz, and I am here with PJ Glassey. And he is going to be talking about biohacking and brain rewiring around health and fitness. And I am so excited to have this interview today. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thanks, Heather. It's great to be here.
All right. So I always start off my first question with all of my guests, or at least most of them, about where did your journey begin, whether it's entrepreneurship or, your spiritual awakening of where your journey really started in carving out doing things different from most people. So give
hmm
me a great overview of where your journey started.
Well, it kind of started in high school when I was a skinny guy and I didn't want to be a skinny guy. And so I started working out, got addicted to exercise at that point.
Mm, yeah.
And then when I was also really into helping other people, especially with talking through issues and things. So I figured I have a knack for kind of the psychologist side of me. And so when I went to Seattle Pacific University, my major was psychology.
Nice.
And yeah. And so
So you were
did
like
that for
brain
a
and
while.
body. Love that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And so I had two passions. I had the psychology passion and fitness passion. So then going through college in the psychology program, I started thinking, well, do I really want to sit around and listen to people all day, or do I want a more active kind of a coaching and lifestyle?
Mm,
So then I decided, well, my senior year, I decided to switch to exercise science. So then I got that degree. And then ever since then, I've still had both passions. And that's why I have hooked in both the psychology with the training. So I now have a gym, and we also do a ton of online training. And I've written a book, and I have an exercise app that people use, and a brain type test. So all of this
wow.
combines to just help people. That's my goal, is just help as many people as possible
Right. I love
with
that.
their goals and their fitness. And I've invented a lot of different hacks and shortcuts and things to help people do that based on their brain type and their brain wiring and the specific methods that I invented.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it all started really with the methods after I graduated from SPU, because most people want to look and to feel fit
Hmm.
and to have functional fitness so they
Right.
can be active and do fun stuff.
Right, right. It's not always just about looking pretty. You want to,
Yep.
feel good at 80 years old, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of anti-aging stuff with my methodology as well. And
Oh, we girlies love that.
uh-huh. Yeah, for sure. And so I developed some methodology that's different than traditional training, because I started personal training right out of college, mostly out of clients' homes. And my exercise science degree taught me how to read research. So
Mm,
I just was a research nerd, and then gave me
nice.
lots of ideas to do experiments on my clients. They
Nice.
thought it was fun. They knew they were guinea pigs, and I was trying to
I
develop
know, I was
something
going to
new.
say, did you inform them?
Yeah, yeah, total informed consent. Yeah. And we had a lot of fun with it. It took me 10 years to develop the methods, but the idea behind the methods was really threefold. I wanted to develop something that would save time, to
Mm,
be time efficient, that
right,
would be safer, so less injuries,
right.
none if possible, and that would tone and define instead of bulk up.
Mm,
So I wanted something that would create muscle density, tone, and definition, but not get people huge
right.
like traditional training does. It's really good at that because that's what it was invented for back in 1891 by Eugene Sandow, the sets and reps method, to
Mm-hmm.
get people bigger.
Right, right.
And they also would get stronger, but it was mostly to get people bigger.
Right. It was more of a physique thing than a
Yeah,
functional thing.
yeah, right. But the clients that I were training, of course, they're rich people and they're busy people, and they didn't have
Right,
time for traditional training because it's very time consuming. So
right.
I'm trying to develop a methodology for them. And so it's not for bodybuilders or CrossFitters, it's for all the other people that want to save
Right.
time and look and feel
That aren't
fit.
the gym rats who want
Yeah,
to hang out in the
exactly.
gym for hours.
Yeah,
They're like, I got a
right,
life.
right. So 10 years later, I had 7 different methods and about 30 different splinter techniques. And I got it down to 21 minutes twice a week. And that's equivalent to about 7 hours of traditional training without the injuries and the bulking.
Nice.
And then I opened up the X Gym, 1998, and to bring it to the masses. And
Yeah.
then we've been moved and expanded and do a bunch of online training and brain type tests and all sorts of fun things now.
All the things. I love
Yeah.
that. That's so cool.
Hmm.
So you have physical locations. And you said it's the X gym?
Yeah. The physical location is in Kirkland, Washington,
Okay.
and then the online training is all over the world.
Love that.
Uh-huh. And the app is, just self-serve all over the world, videos that people can follow with my methods and splinter techniques and
I love
then the
the
brain type test.
Yeah, I was gonna
Hmm.
say I'm loving the brain type thing because
Hmm.
I know I don't have a normal brain. Or
Right.
at least considered normal because
Right.
I've struggled with fitness my whole life. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Well, you don't
awesome.
want to have a normal brain. I mean, normal's boring because
Ah,
it's just
right. That's
this,
what
yeah.
I
You don't want to be
said.
in the 51%, right?
I mean, it's you're weird in high school, but then once you go out into the world, you find other weird people, and then it's more fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
All
only
right.
weird in high school
Exactly.
when you're not normal.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So you were talking about with your rewiring, and
Hmm.
then so that's I'm guessing it's kind of your brain test, or
Yeah.
okay. So all right. So have you gotten like I don't know, from the fitness community, have you gotten like a lot of pushback on that? Like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Just do the Nike thing. Just do it. Like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, I do get pushback and with those exact things sometimes, and or just people that they're resistant to change
Mm,
because they're
we've been
the
doing it
sub
this way for 20 years. Why,
yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, and this isn't even on other trainers' radar yet. And
Oh.
the issue is most trainers will figure out what works for them,
Mm-hmm.
and then they tell their clients that to do that.
Right.
Yeah. And there's an 80% chance that it's not going to make sense to that person because they have a different brain type.
Right. They can't continue it on their own. And then they become
Yeah.
reliant on the trainer. At least that's been my
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, exactly. And then because what the trainer has told them doesn't make sense, they come back to that trainer later and say, "Hey, I'm trying this stuff, but I don't know what's wrong with me. I just can't do it." And the trainer says, "Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with you. You don't have enough willpower, so just suck it up and do it." But
Yeah.
the trainer doesn't realize that what they're telling them isn't making sense.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, they can't compute what's
Right.
being
It's
told.
not clicking. Yeah.
It's not clicking. They can't do it. And so the brain type test that I develop determines which of the 16 brain types that person is. And then
There's
I'm able to
16.
talk. Yeah.
Wow. I was thinking there's like
Mhm.
4 or 5.
Yeah. Well, I tried to boil it down more, but I just couldn't do it because it just
We're
didn't
too
work.
complex.
Yeah. And of course, there's 8 billion people in the world and there's 8 billion brain types, but this does boil it down to 16. So at least I can get a better idea how to talk to that person.
Right.
Yeah. And what kind of things they're going to work for that person, including half a dozen brain training techniques that they can do that's going
Mm,
to make sense to their wiring to get them past food cravings or addictions to certain foods or
mm,
emotional eating or motivation to work out
right.
and all those things.
Right. I was gonna say, because my thing, it's definitely motivation.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't have enough time or that I don't really have the willpower. It's just more of
Hmm.
like I know I'll feel great after, but God, I just don't want to do it right now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And there's tons of techniques to help with that. But more importantly, there's the whole motivation and discipline thing
Mm,
because motivation is great to get you started.
yeah.
And you can go to a Tony Robbins seminar and get all fired up
Oh
for
yeah.
a day or two, but then 3 days later, you're like, oh, okay, well, you know,
I have a thing with those
yeah.
because they're not long-term solutions,
No,
but that's my own bone to pick.
right. Yeah.
Everyone's like Tony
And
Robinson. I'm like, I don't like those seminars.
and so motivation works great for a few days and it also depends on the motivation. So
Hmm.
if it's away from motivation, you're motivated to avoid something and get away from something. Maybe it's pain because you're morbidly obese and your
Right.
joints hurt or whatever that might be, or whatever the away from is wears off
Hmm.
when you start to have less of that. So in the case of the obese person, it start working, right, and they're getting lighter and the pain's starting to go away,
Hmm.
and now the motivation wanes and they can
Ah, yeah.
snap back.
Hmm.
So then there's long term, there's toward motivation where you're trying to attain something because of a certain reason. That's better, and that can be longer term, but the only long-term solution is discipline,
Mm,
and it's developing that discipline over time, which is a lot easier than people realize because it's just starting small is the best way to start that train and that momentum for your discipline.
right.
And discipline, all discipline is a daily habit, so you're just developing your daily habits like brushing your teeth.
Right.
So you start something small, you use your trigger technique, like you put your shoes by the door and okay, that reminded me, now I'm going to go out and walk around my house.
Right. Right. Right.
And then when that's easy, then you walk around the block. And then when that's
Mm,
easy, and everybody just progresses at their own pace and they're not pushing it.
right.
Because the biggest mistake people make is they get all motivated on January 1st and they go in the gym and they work out every single day. And it's week 2, they work out 4 times. And week 3,
Then
they work
about
out 3 times. And then
mid-February,
in
yeah.
mid
I
February,
used to work
the
at a
gym's cleared out.
YMCA. Boy,
Yeah,
January, everybody was in there. And then by about
right.
March, about 50% of them disappeared.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Yeah.
would take, it sounds terrible. We would kind of take bets on like who we bet was going to like drop off because we could always
Yeah.
tell who was not the dedicated people.
Uh-huh.
We're
Yeah.
like, oh, they're the New Year's resolution people.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
Because we had to fill out their membership forms and everything. So we could
Yeah.
always kind of tell. We'd be like, how many members did you get today? I had like 10. Like, oh,
Hmm.
yeah, I had
Yeah.
15. How many are they falling off? That it
Exactly.
sounds terrible. I was 21. I was young.
Yeah.
And I would not dare do that now. But yeah, at the time it was funny
Yeah.
when I was skinny.
Yeah.
When I was effortlessly skinny, it was funny.
Right.
But yeah, so not funny anymore
Yeah.
because I struggle with my own,
Hmm.
with the
Sure.
motivation. And honestly, it is like, I love that you brought up, like, oh, if you're trying to move away from something, it's more
Hmm.
short term. You're
Hmm.
trying to move towards something that's a little bit longer.
Hmm.
I love that you brought that up just because it is true when you're looking at it from a place of lack,
Yeah.
um, or from a place of hating yourself,
Hmm.
it really isn't a long lasting like thing. So I
Hmm.
love that you mentioned that.
Yeah. And it's all about changing the brain with your body
Right.
because if you only, let's say this hand right here is the brain and this hand right here is the body and they're like same level. Now, if I'm going to get improvements with the body, so I start to get these improvements, right?
Mhm.
But my brain is still here.
Mm,
And imagine there's a rubber band between the two.
mm,
So I get improvements, 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 but the brain doesn't change, just the body's changing.
mhm,
Then over time, that tension is going to increase and it's going to snap me back down to the brain level
mhm.
because the brain is in charge of us.
Right.
But if they both change together and we're rewiring as our body is changing,
Right.
then when we get to our goals, now they're both the same and the tension isn't increased between that rubber band. And now we stay that way.
Mm,
And that's why the brain training and the brain rewiring and changing your brain as your body changes is so important because it gets
right.
rid of the yo-yo.
Absolutely. Can you like give me like a really, good real life example of kind of like training the brain to move with the body? Because not that
Mhm.
sounds, not that I don't understand it, but I feel like
Yeah.
I need an example just because, my brain has been rubber banding me back for years. I'm like, ooh, give
Yeah.
me an example. I want to know.
Right. Well, the best way to explain it is our subconscious brain operates at about the level of a 3-year-old. So anything, so I named mine. Mine is Timmy,
I love that.
and because that's a good toddler name. And we can't change that about ourselves, but we can train the toddler.
Okay.
So the subconscious brain, amygdala, emotional, it loves the status quo. It doesn't like change.
Mm-hmm.
But then our parent brain, our prefrontal cortex, can train that toddler and teach that toddler. And then the toddler can change. And now,
Mm,
because the toddler's always in charge, now the toddler's helping us instead of hurting us.
right.
So, as we train the brain and change that wiring, we're changing our toddler. And then our toddler wants what the parent wants because it's been rewired. And now we
Aha.
don't have that conflict and we don't have that yo yo. So, a good example would be someone who, let's just say, well, I already mentioned emotional eating. So they're emotionally eating because of certain reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and it varies depending on the person. But let's just say stress. Okay,
Right. That was
so
what I
they
was
got
going to say.
really
Like,
stressful life. Yeah,
I stressy. Yeah. You're
right, right.
talking to
A lot
me.
of people stress eat. Yeah, exactly. So then they can. Let's say that they take the brain type test, and their brain type is gives them the conscious eating technique. And that conscious eating is basically, to sum it up, it's taking your time, it's chewing thoroughly, it's appreciating the smell and the taste of the food. So you're
Mm,
enjoying it as you go. You're putting your fork down between every bite so you can slowly enjoy it and savor it. And preferably there's someone else with you eating with you. So you're enjoying that human connection and you're talking about the food with them. This is how Europeans eat. It takes them an hour
right.
or two.
Right.
They're
I
not
have said
wolfing down their
this.
food. Yeah.
Right. I was like we were trained to just inhale our food with school when we only had like a
Yeah.
20-minute lunch break. And
Right.
I was like, the
Yeah.
Europeans take like an hour and a half lunch break in the middle of the day.
Yeah. Right. And so they're hacking their emotional eating and they're changing
Mm,
that. Or they can
right.
do the EFT technique, which is the most common technique
Is that the
between
tapping?
that's the tapping.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's easy to find on the internet. It's tapping.com. It's not my site. It's another guy. And he has a little bit different tapping points than I do. But it's energy meridians that you're tapping on.
Right.
And there's lots of reasons that works to disrupt your pattern, but that's
Mm-hmm.
probably the quickest way to do it is when you're feeling a certain emotion, you can
Mm.
label it. This is actually another technique, is the word swap or the emotion label, um, where you can label the emotion, give it a name, and even talk to it like a toddler and say, okay, this is this is Eddie emotion, Eddie emotion eating here. Okay, Eddie, I'm calling you out, and then you're taking the power away from it. So there's tons of ways that you can change that and change your state because that's what it is. It's interrupting
Right.
your pattern.
It's being
It's all
aware.
a
Yeah.
pattern. It's being aware. It's naming the pattern. It's calling it out. It's interrupting the pattern,
Hmm.
and then taking your power back that way.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. I love
Hmm.
that. I love that. Now I'm thinking like, yeah, I really shouldn't just inhale every because that's exactly what I do. I inhale my
Hmm.
food because I
Yeah.
and my whole family's that way. Like
Hmm.
we're, we all are
Hmm.
we just sit down to dinner and we're literally only sitting there for 5 minutes and we don't speak to each other. We
Right.
just
Wolfing it
inhale
down.
and then we're like, okay, that was good. All right, not time to get up and go do other things.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not really like a
Uh-uh.
communing thing, and it yeah,
Yeah.
it does just kind of yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. Oh, I love that. That's
Well,
amazing.
food, yeah, mealtime and food, we don't appreciate it. And if we do stop and we slow down, it's actually a form of meditation because,
Mm,
as you know, all meditation is just focusing.
right.
And it's a prefrontal cortex exercise, and our ability to do it uses the prefrontal cortex, which is our parent brain. And every time we use our PFC, it gets stronger and better. So now we have a stronger, better parent to train the toddler.
Hmm.
But this conscious eating is a form of meditation
Hmm.
because we're focusing on it. And once we focus on it, then we are necessarily not focusing on other things, which is
Mm,
great
yeah.
because a lot of people talk about multitasking and, oh, I'm a really good multitasker. I can do lots of things. Well, you don't want to be a really good multitasker. You want to be a really good
You
focuser.
want to be a little more intentional. Yeah. I
Yeah.
guilty. I do like six things at once and none of them are done well.
Right.
None
Exactly.
of them are done well. They're all done
Exactly.
and they're done
Yeah.
quickly, but not well.
Yeah. But you think of all through history, the pillars of our society, the disruptors, the people that made the biggest difference in the world are the
Mm,
focusers. Those are the focusers.
true.
And they were
True.
really good at hyper focusing. And, it would get them in trouble with other people, even
Hmm.
their family, because they can block out so well.
Right.
And so there's the good middle ground because, we don't necessarily want to be that extreme, but we also don't want to be the ADD extreme. And we can fix that by strengthening the PFC.
Yeah. I was just say, I was like, I'm not diagnosed with ADHD, but I
Yeah.
swear, because
Yeah.
I think a lot of females in the 90s and the early 2000s that we just weren't noticed with ADHD because
Mhm.
they were mostly
Mhm.
focused on the male patterns of
Yeah.
ADHD. But all
Yeah.
of us are all in our 30s now looking back going, oh.
Uh-huh. Right. And it's
Uh,
great to have lots of interests and be excited about life. That's
yeah.
that's not ADHD or ADD, but you can't overstate the importance of
The
focus
focusing.
and the
No,
PFC
yeah.
and doing the meditation regularly. And that's part of the
Yes.
discipline thing of this. It's just setting aside
Yes.
time to make sure that you get it in.
Absolutely. No, my husband and I talk about this all the time because we both we're both artists. We are, meditation teachers. I'm a yoga teacher.
Mhm.
Like has a regular job that takes a lot of his time. And
Mhm.
then we're doing YouTube and we have our school where we teach other people meditation. We
Mhm.
mostly just want to do like YouTube in our spiritual school.
Mhm.
Um, but obviously you have to work on other things. But yeah, my
Yeah.
husband also writes poetry and writes music and is a
Mhm.
drummer. And so
Mhm.
he has said he's like, man, if I just focused on one thing when I turned 20 and I
Yeah.
just focused on one thing, I would be successful by now on the one thing.
Uh-huh.
because
Right.
because he shifted careers a few times and
Yeah.
he has, and same with me. I was doing yoga for a while and only yoga,
Mhm.
and then I was doing teaching online, teaching Chinese kids English for a while. Like I was all over the place as well. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, if we just focused on one thing, we would actually be successful now. But
Mhm.
we're also, I swear, we just like our mind changes with the wind sometimes, and I don't.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
always love that about us, but at the same time, it's
Uh-huh.
made our life very interesting. So it's like,
Yeah.
there's good and bad to it. But no, very true. The focusers are the ones that are the movers and the shakers of the world. I love that
Right.
analogy.
But we can't all be movers and shakers of the world.
True.
And having lots of different interests is great too. And moving around is great too. It just depends on who you are. It's all good.
Right.
And
That's what those different
it's
brain types.
right, right. And a lot of people talk about success. And recently at one of my reunions, the topic came up and who's the most successful in our class?
Oh, I
And
hate those questions.
I know. And so my answer was, because it was a smallish kind of a group. We get together every year, and there's only about a dozen of us. And so we're thinking, oh, blah, blah, blah. Well, how do you define success? And so my turn came, and I said, well, I'm not rich, but I feel wealthy
Mm.
because I've got a grandkid, another one on the way,
Hmm.
great relationship with my wife, great
Right.
relationship with God. And so I feel wealthy. My
Yes.
life is super full
Yes.
and I'm really happy. And no amount of money could buy me that.
Right.
And so I would much rather be the wealthy feeling like the wealthy person that I am instead of a rich person with billions.
Right. Yes. And that's, yeah, absolutely. We're about to have a baby, so that's definitely topic of conversation. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my husband and I have given up holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we haven't actually celebrated a proper Christmas in like 10 years
Yeah.
because we literally have always just worked on Christmas because you get time and
Mm-hmm.
a half, or,
Mm-hmm.
you get suckered into that. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I regret that. I regret that
Mm-hmm.
we've missed Christmases. I said, now that we're having a kid, I'm like, no, I'm not willing to give up
Yeah.
any holiday, any anniversary, any birthdays, because we only
Mm-hmm.
have a little bit of time that she's little, and then she's going to be an
Yeah.
adult and she's going to be living her own life and want nothing to do
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
Or she'll,
Oh, true.
argue with
Yeah.
me or whatever. Not that
Yeah.
I plan on having a bad relationship with her, but if she's anything like me, she'll be ready to go.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. And you're
So,
planning ahead properly because you're thinking about the moments in
mhm.
life. And when you ask people on their deathbed their regrets, it's never, oh, I should have got the Bugatti car instead of the Porsche, or I should have had a bigger house, or I should have worked more. It's never that. It's always, oh gosh, I regret not doing this with so and so, or not being closer to so and so. It's always about
Or not focusing on
relationships.
my health.
Yeah,
That too.
it's about focusing on quality of life and
Hmm.
quality of relationships. Those are the things people regret.
Yes.
So let's not just have those regrets. Let's
Uh,
just focus on those things now so we don't
Right.
have those regrets.
Absolutely. And I keep seeing this quote everywhere, and I absolutely love it. And they go, if you don't take time for your health now,
Mm-hmm.
you will have to make time for your illness later.
Yeah.
And that is so true. Like, so many people in my family have, diabetes, heart
Mm-hmm.
issues.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of doctors will be like, oh, it's just genetics. You can't
Yeah.
escape it.
Mm-hmm.
And I refuse to believe that.
Same.
I refuse
Well,
to believe that.
yeah, I mean, if you look at the stats on how much money people spend on their health after they retire, it's
Hmm.
astonishing. Depending on the source, it's anywhere between 350,000 to $500,000
Oh, jeez.
fixing their health or keeping themselves alive after they retire because they didn't focus it on it earlier.
Right. They spent 30 years in their career, eating food
Yeah,
out of the vending machine and just eating the quick,
yeah,
crappy food, or, and then again, sitting at a desk, maybe not. Of course, this is not everybody, but I'm just
hmm,
using generics, like sitting under fluorescent lighting for 30
yeah,
years and not
hmm,
going outside. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Absolutely. I love that we're
Hmm.
in alignment on this. This
Yeah, for sure.
is great.
Hmm.
So, I'm, obviously I'm a yoga teacher and a meditation teacher, and I speak more on spiritual stuff. And
Hmm.
so, I notice when, and this is not just me, this is just what I've noticed with people in general,
Hmm. Hmm.
when they're not happy,
Hmm.
they tend to either self sabotage or, not take care of themselves. And in saying that, I mean, like I'll just use myself as an example.
Hmm.
When when I was miserable on the inside, like, on paper, I looked
Hmm.
great. I
hmm.
had a great career.
Hmm.
I was making money. I, on paper, looked great.
Hmm.
But I would go home and drink several beers, and I was smoking a pack and a half of smokes a day.
Yeah.
I was not taking care of myself at all.
Hmm.
I was so focused on just making money. I wasn't even like consulting my husband when I would like pick up extra shifts or work on weekends. I would just do it. And
Hmm.
he'd be like, I thought we were going to hang out this weekend. I'm like, doesn't matter. I'm making money, whatever.
Yeah,
And so it took me a long time to come to oh, I'm actually really miserable. So can
exactly.
you speak on some of that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, well, it just gets back to kind of what I was saying is that happiness comes from experiences with other people and good health. Because if you have bad health, I mean, there's a famous quote, if a man doesn't have his health, he has one thing to worry about. If he only has one goal and dream, is to have better health, right?
Hmm.
But if a man has his health, he has many goals and dreams because he doesn't have to
Ah,
worry about that one most important thing that would
right.
completely preoccupy all his thoughts if he didn't have his health. Now, younger people can get
Ah,
away with it,
yeah.
but when you're in your 50s and 60s, then it catches up. No matter who you are, it's going to
Hmm.
catch up. And then you're going to be focusing only on that. And that's not very fun to be trying to fix that.
Hmm.
So, there's the brain and there's the body and there's the spirit. And we've talked a lot about the body because, fitness and yoga and all that stuff, kind of stuff is great. And
Right.
the brain, training the prefrontal cortex, meditation, and then the spirit. And that's kind of, it's all, you can do different things with all three, and all three are a choice. My choice is I meditate every single day, a
Mhm.
lot. And
That's
my
awesome.
best form of meditation that I found, besides just sitting and visualization and stuff like that, which I do, but when I get the most out of it, the most exercise from my PFC is the Bible. I just read the Bible and I just focus on that.
Hmm.
I'm praying. Prayer and Bible reading are my best forms of meditation. I do
Yeah.
the other kinds too. Visualization is my favorite technique
Hmm.
of meditation, where I'm breathing and I'm focusing and I'm
Hmm.
I'm visualizing, what I want, and it's always in alignment with my main form of meditation, prayer and the Bible.
Right.
But that works for me.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. There's 8 billion of us and there's 8 billion ways to do it.
Right.
But you got to find your way and what clicks. And if
Right.
you're doing something, if you're forcing meditation or you're
Mm.
forcing the PFC exercise and it's not fun and you're
Right.
not getting joy out of it,
Yeah.
stop it and try something else. Do
Right.
something else.
Right.
Then and keep trying things until you find something that clicks.
Right.
And that's going to be your superpower. That's going to
Yes.
be how you can healthfully train your brain, because that's really the most important thing.
Hmm.
As I mentioned earlier, the brain is in charge of us.
Right.
So the better you can dial in your PFC and your brain health,
Hmm.
the easier life is going to be. And the easier it is to be able to achieve your goals, which is why I invented the brain type test in the first place, anyways, to get
Right.
people's brains so they're not doing the yo yo, they're not fighting against their toddler, and they're able to achieve their goals and dreams
That stop
much
fighting your
easier.
toddler.
Exactly. Because
Get
the
that on a
people that don't
t-shirt.
real oh yeah, the people don't realize it, or that don't know how to fight their toddler,
Hmm.
they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. The toddler's gonna win every
Right.
time, and they're
Right.
just gonna struggle their whole life because they don't understand this concept and they don't know how to fix it.
Right. And yeah, no, I love that so much. And because I've always wondered, I'm like, I know better. Why
Hmm.
do I keep struggling with this? Like,
Yeah. Right.
yeah, and it's like I'll have cake or something. I'll be like, oh, I just
Hmm.
want the cake. I know I shouldn't eat the cake, and then I feel like
Yeah.
crap after,
Totally.
and I hate myself after. But just for that
Yeah.
5 seconds, I downed the cake. I felt good.
Exactly. At the
It's
moment, while it's in your mouth,
right, and
you feel great.
that's
Yeah.
such a toddler thing. And I'm like, wow, you really, yep.
Yes, the
Like
toddler.
because we're not
Yeah.
thinking about the thing after. We're like, no, I want
Nope.
the cake. I want the cake.
Bingo.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna stop fighting the toddler. I'm writing that down.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because toddlers are all about instant gratification. They're very
Mm.
narcissistic.
Oh,
They
very.
can't even think about the future. They don't have the ability to simulate the future.
Mhm.
And that's what separates humans from all the other animals and toddlers, is we can
Right.
simulate the future. We can think of a scenario and we can think, well, okay, if I do this, then these things could potentially happen. Animals can't do that. Toddlers
Right.
can't do that,
Right.
but the PFC can.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm. And then I'm even going like a step further. It's like, oh, and then the parent part of my brain is shaming the toddler part of my brain.
Uh-huh.
Like, you
Right.
idiot, you know better. So even my
Yeah.
parent is mean to my toddler.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, I really go in a loop there, don't I? All right. No,
Uh-huh.
I'm loving this. I'm like, I need this rewiring. I did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, when I talk to my toddler, I just say, "Okay, Timmy, I know what you're trying to do here. So here's what we're going to do, and here's how I'm going to help you with this, and we're going to do this together. We're going to work through it."
Yeah.
And then, yeah,
Just so
that's
your
effective.
toddler feels seen and heard.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
so true
Sometimes I'll
though.
ask him. Sometimes I'll ask
Yeah.
him. I'll say, "Okay, Timmy, what's going on here? You know,
Right.
tell me
Right.
what you're feeling. Tell me why you're trying to get us
Mhm.
to do this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hit that sometimes too. I'm like, why am I struggling with this so bad?
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, I know the thing that hits me sometimes is like, oh, I've done so good today. I need
Mm-hmm.
a reward.
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah, yeah. Like I'll be like, oh,
Exactly.
I ate so clean today and I even worked out. I did
Yeah.
so good. Now I need a reward and I'll eat An entire cake.
Yep. Yeah.
I'd
So
like,
my grandson, my 2-year-old grandson, I have a freeze dryer. So I freeze dry raspberries
oh, that's good.
and other fruit. He
Yeah.
just loves it. He thinks it's candy. So he will get that reward, but it's good for him because
Right.
it's one ingredient and no, instead of
Right.
instead of
Yeah.
Skittles that has a paragraph on the package.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, we could go off on a whole tangent on that
Yeah,
about
right.
one ingredient. Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, there's so much information here and it's so great. And I love everything that we've been talking about. I don't have any more questions.
Uh-huh.
Is there one big overarching message that you would love to just send to our listeners?
Yeah, it's kind of what we said. It's about your toddler and it's about training your toddler. And that's why I invented the brain type test. It's braintype.me,
Hmm.
and that's where people can learn more. xgym.com is the best way to get in touch with all my stuff. And those are really the only two websites.
I say I'll
All
put
the
those down in
info.
the description below so you guys can
Yeah.
scroll down there and check that out.
Yeah. But you and I are the same, cut from the same cloth. We just want to help people
Mhm.
and just help people discover how to be better and happier and more
Right?
fulfilled. Yeah.
Yeah. I just your method seems a little more broad because like I have a certain technique of the way I teach
Hmm.
meditation or yoga.
Hmm.
And I love with yours is it's more broad to like everyone's different brain types. Cause
Hmm.
usually like I'll teach a meditation to someone and they'll be like, "Ah, it didn't really work for me." I'm just like, "Hey, cool. That's all right. Like,
Hmm.
good luck. Find someone who works better for you." Like I don't take it
Totally.
personally,
Yeah.
but I don't have a somewhere to direct them.
Hmm.
With your brain testing, that is
Hmm.
really cool because you can kind of be like, "Oh, here's your map."
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Like, "Oh, okay, I kind of have more of an answer for you. This technique will work better for you."
Yeah.
Or at least you have like a way of like starting the conversation.
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of like, "Oh, you don't like the way I teach yoga? Hey, cool, that's all right. Good luck in the
Hmm.
future." Or you don't like my meditation, I don't really have anywhere to direct them after that. It's kind of on them. So at least with yours,
Hmm.
you have somewhere to
Yeah.
point them.
Yeah. And a lot of other trainers and practitioners and coaches use it for their people.
I
They'll
love
say,
that.
hey, let's take the brain type test, send me your results, and then we can talk more and help find what works better for you.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Love that. That is so cool.
Mhm.
I want to take a brain test now. I'm gonna like and be like,
Yeah.
how do I hack my weird brain? No, no, I love that so much. Well, it has been a pleasure talking with you and everybody who's tuning in. This has been really great. I hope you guys really got something out of this. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Love it. Bye bye.